Welcome to Season 1, the final race of the MIRD of the first season. Of course, there will be a few more of these, hopefully. Today we are back at Daytona, of course, the track we did for the first race and the track we are doing for the last race. So, we are looking right now at the starting grid. Of course, the top 4 cars who are still fighting for the championship, also in the top 4 spaces. With Avengers Child right now the point leader in the lead. We are actually in the championship order right now. So Jane Sen, who is right now second, also starting in second. Godfall in third and Raven Cromwell in fourth. So what is different today is that they are all on 5,000 points, all 4 cars. But Flowerchild starts with 15 points more. Whoops. Flowerchild starts with 15 points more. Jane Sen starts with 10 points more because he is second. He came second in the regular season. Quadful with 5 points more, and Cornwell with the flat 5,000. So they definitely need to make up a lot of places if they want to be the champion of the MIRD Season 1. Flowerchild, of course, in a really good position because leading a singular lap will give them 5 points extra. So that will put them at a really good lead. In fifth, we have Winfrey Schrock. Something wrong. No, just weird at finding. Ravencrown will just kind of fell asleep. Okay. Winfrey Schrock in fifth here. In front of Jazz Cranston, Speed McZoom, and Pinkelman in eighth. So this is the second group of the second fastest cars. Now on to the third group of the third fastest cars. Fast Boy, Noah Niola. Next to each other, for Labi Abara and Jaffa Cake. In the fourth group, we have Super Bingle in the lead, next to Mecha Spider, Shikido Milka, and Vincent Meadow. And in the rest, we have Shikido Milka. We have Alana Bordell in the lead, in front of the Avenger. Right in front of Kawai McDesu. That is really interesting because the Avenger 1 point below Kawai McDesu and could be not on last place after this race for the first time in a long time in the season. Just the last name: Scott Matthews, Jerry Murdo, and Brian Henderson. Brian Henderson and just the last name still fighting for the crown of the losers. So that will be a pretty interesting predicament they are both in. So last name, of course, of them right now in the lead. So pretty good position for him. Of course, the fight between Kawai McDesu and the Avenger will also be fairly. What did I do? Okay. Apparently, there's a pause button on the num-block. I pressed by accident. So that's good to know. So yeah, the safety car right now, crossing the line, should pull into the pit lane any minute now, and it does. And we are going to be off to the races. Avengers Flowerchild in the inside, right next to their teammate Jane Sen. So we'll see how they will be doing this race. And we are off. Green flags are out. Flowerchild and Jane Sen not really able to get away from their followers. Jane Sen right now taking the lead on the outside, actually. Flowerchild kind of slow. Quadful even taking the inside line. Really good start from the only Firebrand car in the championship still remaining. And he's taking the lead, quite demanding even. Cromwell struggling still behind him. Jane Sen not really able to get enough speed to overtake them on the outside. So Flowerchild right now in second behind Quadful, Jane Sen, and Flowerchild pretty much next to each other. Sen seems to be a bit more faster, but of course Flowerchild having the inside, having a huge advantage. Right now Cornwell taking advantage of that draft they get from the number 5 car, and they are right now still in third at least. So that is the first lap down. Godful will net himself 5 points at least for leading a lap, so that will definitely help them. They of course start in third, so they are 10 points behind. 10 points behind Flowerchild. Flowerchild right now falling down to 4th. That is really interesting. So basically what happens is there are 5 points between every position. So number 1 gets 175, number 2 gets 170, 65 and 60, I believe. And there's bonus points if you lead a lap, and 5 more bonus points if you lead the most laps. So that means right now Grot is getting 185 points even. So that would right now Grotful would be our champion. So what's going on in the chat? I missed the chat. I will. 64 laps to commemorate Banjo and Smash. Yep, that's my intention. Flout, Cromwell taking second place right now. So both the Team Papega cars, despite starting in the first lane, in third and fourth, Flout losing a lot of ground. So the favorite to win the season right now really struggling. What's going on lower down the field? Just last one right now in second to last. Korean Desu in last, Trevor Widow, Scott Matthews, Alana Bodell, and Brian Henderson, despite being starting in last right now at first of the losers group. So that's pretty interesting. The Avenger right now in fourth, so he third or fourth, so he would definitely take that second to last place in the championship. Mecha Spider right now trailing Chiquito Milka, Super Bingle, and Vincent Meadow. Jaffa Cake up in front of Abawa, Fastboy, and Noah Neola leading their group. Jazz Cranston right now last in their group, behind Winfrey, Schrock, Speedman, and Pinkelman in first. So they are doing their team proud. Godful right now leading, and hasn't been not leading so far, I believe. So nobody else has a leading lap right now. So Godful would be pretty in a pretty good position right now. So what's going on in chat? They're all on 5,000 points, but actually they don't. I was foretold there would be Boom Booms. They are Boom Booms. Fighting for the winner of the Scrubs. On brand. So yeah, right now, Brian Henderson, of course, in the lead of the Scrubs. So that might dethrone just the last name here. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. Because actually the Scrub group is the one of the more interesting groups. Miller's word of the moment is commanding. Dude, commanding is such a good word. Petition to rename the last tier to Kawaii. But correct, this is the worst in the races. Godful is my champion. Oh, so are we... So, yeah. Chat, please hit me up. Who are you rooting for in the championship race? Is it Flowchild? Give me an R-Flow. If you in favor of Flowchild, give me a Jason. If you are for the number 55 car of Jason, give me a Quon. Give me a Quon if you're in favor of the 59 Raven Conwell, or give me a Grot. Give me a Grow. Yeah, give me a Grow. If you are rooting for the lone survivor of Team Firebrand, the number 91 car. Cromwell. Yeah, I see. So the Crow Gang right now in the Grow Gang in second in the lead. Cron boys, dude. Cron boys. Hashtag Cron boys. Dude, it's so interesting to see how close they all are to each other, because they have been doing this for 7 laps straight, and they are not budging. No, no errors so far. Nothing. Like, they haven't lost their line. They haven't gone like way too far, way too wide. So this is really fascinating. They are so close to each other. Of course, we'll be meeting the losers group pretty soon, I believe. I think they're like half a lap behind. Brian Henderson back in last right now. So what's going on in the losers group? This is actually much more interesting. Just the last name right now in third to last. Kawai McDesu almost getting the red lantern again. Yeah. Murdo, I did the learning to fly achievement. Oh, did you? How did you do it? It's called a crown for a reason, guys. Maybe Cromwell will get his crowning achievement at this race. Of course, we expect most of the races of the drivers of the teams actually to come back for season 2. We'll never know which drivers will be re-signed. Of course, maybe some are going to retirement. Some will maybe some team leaders will maybe decide to give other names, other faces in a spin next season. We'll probably see a lot more different designs, some different colors, maybe some brand new faces, some brand new investors who would like to have a car in the season. and probably way different car models. So that's the thing I'm working on. So that's cool. Yeah, so as you can see in the top, all the cars in the top 4 cars, not away from each other, less than 10, like 30, 0.3 seconds right now. So they are so close to each other. Flowerchild still struggling to catching up again. It's really interesting because they have been the season favorite, been in the lead for most of it. So starting runway side, you just make sure you start on the road behind it and cut over the grass. Oh, okay. Coolio. You know, if you didn't know, me and Lee, just entertainment, played the Lego DLC yesterday on Forza Horizon 4, and it's been a while since I had the urge to play a game again, and that game kind of tickles me. I don't know, I really want to just explore my own. Nothing against him, but sometimes, I don't know, I think exploring the game alone and with somebody, if it's like more story driven, I mean it's not really story driven, but is a bit of a different. But for me, Forza games are a lot about the immersion and the music and the sounds and everything. So that, of course, will be toned down if you play with a friend. So yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know, I really look forward to playing it again. But right now we are looking forward to the first overtaking of the day. Grotful taking 3 cars, actually most of the group taking 3 cars on the inside, no problem. Bordel right now holding them up a bit, blocking all 4 of them. They are now right up their asses, so there's no place for them. So now we have a bit of a convoy going on. This is of course something that you expect. Very welcome for Flowerchild, of course. They have been trailing a bit, so now they can come back and just get right up Jane's sense. But again, to make up some places, hopefully. Godful's been leading the first 11 laps with no issues whatsoever. Now they all passed just the last name, who is in the lead of the losers in front of the Avenger. So Godful actually being able to take the most advantage out of that, which is pretty interesting. Godful right now in the lead, getting a bit of a head start in front of Cromwell, Jane Sen, and Flowerchild. This is breaking up the pack a bit, which I actually thought would do the opposite. So that's interesting. Yay, NASCAR. Hi, Templar. You should sign up for Season 2 when it's happening, because this is fun. Welcome. I don't know if you've ever been in my stream, but I appreciate it. Exploration is kind of hard with 2 or more people, because you kind of want to stick around to others. Yeah. Yeah, no, I really enjoy playing. You can call me Liam, sweetie, it's cool. I know. I really enjoy playing Forza with friends, because it's a game that really benefits from it. But, yeah. For the first, like, for some DLC and, like, for the first things you kind of want to do that alone, or at least have time to sync everything in. Godful losing the lead right here, might even losing second, so I don't know what happened there, but they are losing a lot of time. Of course, that's the thing with NASCAR. If you are just off your game for 1 turn, 1 corner, 1 second, you will be paying for it. And Cromwell right now taking the lead will have his first leading lap in a minute, so he of course started in 4th. So he really needs everything, so he basically needs to win the final race and with the most laps led if he wants to be the champion at the end. And right now it's looking good. Godful, of course, only started with 5 points more than him, so overtaking him in the championship shouldn't be that much of an issue. Jameson still in 3rd, and Flowerchild again trailing the pack. You really have to wonder how that comes. I don't think I fucked up his stats. I hope not. And yeah, welcome to everyone who's watching. I hope you are ready for quite a long section of the MIRD today, because of course the final race, we need to have a winner, we need to have an interesting race, of course, hopefully. So we'll be doing a pretty long one today. Fastest lap right now belongs to Jane Sen, despite being in 3rd for the whole race. Venus Flowerchild actually the 2nd fastest lap, so Team Papega sticking to their to what they do best and just driving fast. Godful with the 4th fastest, despite being the leading car for most of the race, so they had the cleanest air basically. but of course they couldn't use draft, so maybe that damaged their lap times. Raven Cornwell right now in third. Yeah, so that's cool. Of course, you could see the difference between the power in the leading team, the leading cars having 46 seconds of a lap, and slower cars have 51 second laps, so you can definitely see the difference here. And we are having our next overtake, the second group right now, up for maybe blocking the leading pack, and Cromwell definitely having an issue right there, because they really need to take Mecha Spider here, but they can't. In the way, Godful taking them on the inside, no problem. Jensen maybe getting past. Cromwell not really able to get past them right now, right behind Mecha Spider. Ooh, this is yeah. Right now they're taking the inside. Vincent Middle now blocking all 4 of the leading cars. Finally, Raven Cornwell taking the inside line and not being stuck in the behind Mecha Spider. So hopefully that isn't going to be that much of an issue. It doesn't seem to be. It's still pretty close. Could have been much worse, of course, lost 2 positions, but yeah, it hasn't been as bad as it could have been. Of course, every lap counts at this stage, because like I said, they probably need every point they can get, and of course the most laps led is a hefty 5 points, so they can decide at the end on who wins and who does not. It legit looks like Avensis had a really bad roll this race, which is obviously disheartening for them, but such is life. Yeah, I mean it's the nature of the MIRD. They probably have an amazing roll on pit crew again, so they win anyway. Because that's just how they roll. And they had like amazing rolls for most races, else they wouldn't have had that huge of a lead, so I don't feel that bad, to be honest. Godful staying in the lead. Cornwell is pretty fast, overtook Jane Sen again, and seems to be on their way to taking Godful again. I would check on the slower cars, but right now I really want to keep on the leading pack, because that seems the most interesting. Especially because Jensen looked like for a second they wanted to overtake, but not fast enough. Jensen right now going really wide outside. Why are they going so far outside? Might cost them their 3rd position, actually. That could maybe... No, actually, whoa! Oh, because they are not pitting. Okay. Anyway. So we have our first pit stop. A few slow cars apparently already pitted. So, yeah, we'll have our first pit stop here. Godful, Cornwell, and Flowerchild. Slower cars already leaving the pit lane. JFK might be blocking Godful here. Not the case. Almost colliding Cornwell and Flowerchild. Flowerchild, of course, taking the first spot in the pit lane. So, that's good for them. So, Jensen still turning left. Godful going out first, Cornwell second, and Flowerchild right now going out third. Basically the same order as before. Vincent Miller actually taking them in the pit lane. So doesn't seem to be an amazing pit stop by Flowerchild here, which is a bit off-brand for them. Godful seems to have been taking the lead from the pit here, or they had the lead before, but definitely got a bit more of an head start. So we'll definitely need to see where Jane Sen goes into this. Of course, a pretty good pit stop for them can rattle the whole order, as it just tends to do sometimes. I found really cool that some of the current leading group have been up there the entire time, and then there's Cromwell who just kind of snuck in at the end. Oh yeah, it's been a wild season. Of course, Jane Sen and Flowerchild both been in the leading 2 for the entire season. Jane Sen being our first race winner, and of course leading for the first race. Since then, Flowerchild's been leading the table, and then Jane Sen was leading again for 1 race, and I think 1 or 2 races, and then Flowerchild was leading again. So they have been pretty much cemented in the playoffs since forever. Godful been a car that's definitely been climbing up again. Every now and then climbing and have been in the midfield for a long time. Jane Sen now back on the track, And Grodful overtaking them still. So I thought Jensen took the lead there, but couldn't get onto their top speed fast enough. And Grodful just takes them on the outside. No problem. Cromwell also taking them. So Jensen back in third. Seems still like they had a pretty good pit stop. So they have not much of an issue. Flauchild quite far behind now. 40 seconds, is that correct? No, 6 seconds. Okay, so Flauchild definitely has a mountain to climb now. Or else they will be out of the championship. Of course, they had a 15-point lead. So that can maybe be enough, but probably not. They definitely need at least one place to save their lead into the finish line. Speaking of Cornwell right now taking the lead. Of course, really clever tactic by Jensen. To stay out for one more lap, because that way they were able to take a leading lap and therefore getting at least the 5 bonus points. But right now they might be taking the lead anyway, so that could have been redundant, because kind of looks like they are taking a race lead right now, so they might be leading a few more laps than just one. But Jensen, with that late pit stop, everybody cramming into the pits, and they go in a lap late. Really good strat, because they were able to at least secure one leading lap and therefore securing 5 bonus points, which can be crucial. And right now it looks like it's really paying off for them. Cornwell was in the lead for a hot second, one more lap, but that wasn't really holding up. Grodful now in second, Cornwell in third. So, of course, right now I haven't kept count, but I'm pretty sure Grodful still with the most leading laps at the moment, so they will be getting a few more extra points, and with a second place in the race, that could be enough to take the championship as of now. But of course we still have 40 laps to go. Right now we have an overlapping again. Grodful pushing Cornwell a bit into the inside, so they are stuck behind their teammate yet again, but also Jensen being blocked by Lana Bodell, so not really an advantage for any of them. Cornwell right now getting past their teammate on the inside. Grodful a bit in a stuck in traffic. I don't know if they can really make a safe overturn of Bodell, and Jensen really benefiting from the chaos. Bodell blocking Grodful here, so they only now are able to take them finally. And yeah, so they are now 80 seconds down to the leader. Cheryl Murdo as well, the next target to be lapped here. Their pit stop was a lot slower than usual, yeah. I mean, there haven't even been as many laps as squad led before. Yeah. So yeah, Grodful and Cromwell really making their way through the traffic. Of course, Flauchild could maybe benefit from that, maybe make up some spaces, but they have been losing time right now, 8 seconds behind the leader. So looking really dark for them. So we might have not the winner that most have been expecting throughout the season, which of course adds to the excitement. Jensen, but it might be a teammate of them. Jensen, of course, one of the 2 most dominant cars towards the whole season, so that could really pay off for them. Team Pepega in an amazing run. Right now, Cornwell taking second again, but they need to get into first, else they won't have much of a chance. Else they might as well let Grodful pass, because they might have more of a chance to win the championship against Jensen if Cornwell isn't able to taking the lead again. They are now almost 3 seconds behind the leader. So that lapping right there definitely altered the experience here. Pretty commanding lead by Jensen, because I know you like that word. That's why I'm saying it again. Now Cornwell stuck behind Fastboy. Grodful was almost able to get past, but not quite. And of course now we get into a few of the bit faster cars. Fastboy, of course, in the second group, I believe. So being a bit faster than, of course, Bodell, Chermurdo, and all that stuff. But now there is again the slower group again. So where is Jensen getting past? Not a big problem. Godful and Cromwell right now need to make their way past 4 cars. Just the last name right now leading their group, the loser group. So that's gonna help them securing their win of their group. Brian Henderson right behind in second, Avenger in third, and Scott Matthews in fourth. So right now is a chance for Godful and Cromwell to take the losers on the inside, but not happening. Just the last name taking the inside line and blocking them yet again. Oh, this is a disaster. Jensen after the pit stop, just dominating this race. Not much chance for anyone to make up any spots. Of course, we have a few, probably 1 or 2 more pit stops to go, so that could change anything. But at the moment, not looking too good. Just the last name still blocking the chasing pack. Cromwell might now be able to get past finally. Godful right now also stuck. Of course, with a lot of cars here, not much room for overtaking. Fastboy also needed to lap or at least overtake the slower cars, so they are now in front of Godful again. This is a bit heartbreaking. Godful, of course, has been leading for most of the race so far, so with a good chance to have an underdog victory. And with underdog victory, I mean anyone but Team Pepega, basically. Right now, finally getting past. So staying still in second, and apparently 4 seconds down now to Jensen. So we'll have a race on our hand, because we need they definitely need some really fast laps now. They need the best they can do, the fastest laps. They need to fight for every meter, every second they can get to keep their chances alive on winning the MIRD Season 1. Let's go on to the onboard, when I find it, of the race leader right now, so we can look inside the car for a minute. Haven't had that chance much. We can see, of course, oil pressure, oil temperature, I believe, water, and on the very left we have the fuel gauge, which seems to be more than half full. So not really an issue there. Pretty smooth ride right now. Not much issues, not much problems in like taking the corners. No crashes yet, nothing. Not even with the slow cars, just a lot of blocking, but nothing too major. I mean, it'd be kind of funny if the lower reliability stat from the start finally came into play. Yeah, maybe. Also, my KBS is really going up and down, so I hope the stream is fine. Jensen lapping a car again, Super Bingle on the outside, no problem there. Of course, if it's only one car, it's usually not a problem, but as soon as there's multiple cars to lap and at the same time, we'll usually have an issue, because that's just much more difficult. Cromwell in second still. They were able to get a bit back on, they gain a bit on Jensen. They have been 4 seconds down, only 3.7 seconds down, so that's a bit of a win there. Sen also now, oh my god, now joining onto the next pack of slow cars. 5 cars right there blocking his path, so we'll need to see how they can cope with that slideshow, but it works cool. Has it been there for the whole time, or just now? Sen still in the lead, of course, but now behind Chiquito Milka, trying to take them on the inside. Mecha Spider blocking them a bit, not really giving them enough room, because they're going to the pits. Interesting. That, of course, slowing Jensen down massively. That could really make a change. Godful really taking up the pace again, overtaking Cromwell on the way. Chiquito Milka getting overtaken now. Quadfool right on their tail again. So you see one bad moment, one block can really shrink the pack again together again. I've had minor buffering, about 5 minutes. Cool. Yeah, I hope it will fix itself again, because I'm not gonna restart this. Quadfool and Cornwall right now pretty much side by side. Cornwall having the inside, so they will probably take second. And we right now have a race on the hands again, because of course Jensen not that far ahead anymore. Now below a second, even Flowerchild going down below 10 seconds of a gap again. But I doubt that they will be having much of a chance of getting back into the top 3 there, because they of course have been struggling with keeping up with the top 3 cars for some reason. Which of course, big shame on your big day, on the finals, on basically what should have been the crowning ceremony for Flowerchild, who has been dominating the season for pretty much the whole season. Yeah, Cornwell right now taking advantage of the draft and then taking the inside line on Jane Sen. That should be enough to taking the lead here. And it is pretty comfy, even what's Quadfool doing also on the inside. Jason, of course, not able to turn into the inside, not really wanting to provocate a crash here. So they have to just keep on the outside and hope that Quadfool's not really able to get past here. Right now they are side by side with Jane Sen. A bit stuck behind Cornwall. Cornwall going wide in an attempt to overtake Vincent Mirdo. And Cornwall, I think that was a bit of a bump, a bit of a hit, nothing too bad. But yeah, that was a really clever maneuver. I thought for a second that Quadfool might be taking Cornwall there because they were taking the outside line, but that was just in advantage, in preparation for overtaking Vincent Mirdo here. So really clever on their side. Quadfool in second, Jane Sen in third now, so Cornwall right now racking up leading laps again. So they might be in a position to challenge the leading laps of Quadfool, of course, which they will probably need if they want to win the championship. Right now in the lead again, Raven Cornwall, number 59 car. Quadfool in second, so we might have a bit of a duel on our hands. Jane Sen now taking the outside again because Quadfool's taking it to the pits. First of the 4 cars. What is Flowerchild doing? Of course, they are 12 seconds down, so they really need a bit of a miracle here to take lead, but of course to take the win again. But of course, pretty much they don't really need much to win a championship because they had 15 points ahead anyway. So basically, if one of their competitors just makes a big mistake, they will probably be good. They will probably be able to take the championship still. So Jane Sen right now really fast, really closing on to Cornwall and trying to take the inside line, but Cornwall making the door shutting the door. No passing here. Both still staying out. Quadfool, of course, taking the pit stop at least 2 laps earlier than both of them, so that's a bit of an interesting strategy. Right now, Jane Sen in the lead again, maybe taking on the inside. I was more shocked about the potential crash, but of course, Vincent Mirdo, the biggest fan of Raven Cornwall, supported me in getting the lead. Sure, that was a pretty cool maneuver, to be completely honest. Jane Sen now taking the lead quite easily. Abara making space wisely for both the leading cars. They're having a pretty intense battle here. And Cornwall knows how important this is to lead the laps because, of course, Jane Sen taking every lap away, every lap they share between the 3 cars of them, so Quadfool, Cornwall, and Jane Sen, can be important. After all, we have 64 laps, so we don't have that many laps you can lead, and every 5 points you can get extra, of course, can count. Jane Sen with the advantage coming off the main season at the moment. So they are 10 points ahead of Cornwall after the normal season, and 5 points ahead of Quadfool, 5 points behind Flowerchild. Flowerchild also now coming to the pits. Cornwall going out seemed pretty okay speed-wise. Flowerchild almost colliding with them, but it was fine. So we'll need to see if they end up in front of Godful or behind, because Godful, of course, the first car to take the pits. And after that, we'll have to look at Jane Sen and how the group of Cornwell and Godful takes the if they are able to overtake them or not. I'm sorry. So Cornwell back onto the track. I cannot really see Godful anywhere. Oh, there he is. So he's definitely the next car. Oh god. So yeah, Godful right now seems to be quite behind Cornwell. I don't think they can catch them as easily right now. We saw Jane Sen right now taking the pit. So already out again. So we'll need to see if Cornwell is able to catch them on the re-entry, or if Jane Sen keeps the lead after pit stops. Cornwell seems to be 8 seconds behind, so it's gonna be tough. Probably, I would say that Jane Sen probably keeps the lead here. Maybe not by much, but yeah. Cornwell now struggling to overtake a few, having to take Mecha Spider on the outside. Of course, not ideal, but easy enough. Not really stuck in traffic. Jane Sen now on the straight again. Of course, not as fast as Cornwell, so Cornwell definitely still able to get a few yards on them. Seems to be Jane Sen keeping the lead here. Cornwell really fast on the outside here. Maybe taking Jane Sen like a biscuit on the table. Easy game for them. Cornwell keeps the lead. The three slower cars right now making a bit of way, except for Bordel, who decides to stay in the lane. Of course, not wanting to give up any position against their teammate, Sherwood, and also Ceramic Desu. So we have a bit of a pickle here. It's a bit of a pickle. Cornwell, of course, getting the credit for that leading lap there. Jane Sen right now on the inside, taking the lead again, because Bordel basically blocking Cornwell there a bit. Cornwell was probably hoping that after Cheromito and Ceramic Desu were making way, that Bordel would as well, but that was not the case, so they paid quite harshly for it. Cornwell really close onto Jane Sen, but in third, Godful with 5 seconds down, and Floucher with 15 seconds down, so that pit stop didn't help them. Really bad luck today. Is the Avenger gonna let them pass? They will, no problem there. Looked a bit scary there. Mecha Spider seems to be 6 laps down, so they probably had an issue. I don't know what happened there, but they are right now in last. Bordel, then we have Ceramic Desu, Cheromito, the Avenger. I'm sorry. Brian Henderson in 18th. Just the last name in second of his group, and the lead right now is Scott Matthews. That would definitely mean that the Avenger would take the 22nd position overall, so they would not be in last place anymore, and that just the last name would definitely take the win for the loser group. Of course, the last places are probably the most interesting group after, of course, the 4 winning cars. Godful right now making their way through the slow cars, maybe being able to get a bit time back, because of course the 2 leading cars had a bit of trouble here, but it doesn't seem to be the case for the 91. Of course, sponsored by Streamer.Directory, I'm sorry. Of course, Cornwell with number 55, sponsored by Pookie Sticks, the number 1 choice of sticks if you want both a cookie and a chocolate. And my endorsement right now, making them taking the lead again over the number 55 car, of course, which is the Cinder Hatch car. If you need an egg to be hatched, take it to Cyndacool, because that's a good idea. Next group of slow cars again. Ooh, that was a bit dangerous almost. Henderson almost cutting in front of Cornwell there, but no problem, no issue. Just the last name taking the lead of his group, but Cornwell and Jane Sen really need them to not fight, so they can just make their way past, taking the inside here. Jane Sen decides to stay in the draft for some reason. Cornwell not able to put the hammer down to overtake last name here. Never mind, no problem there. Last name and Matthews both staying on the outside, letting the fast cars past. Jesus, what a sentence. So that wasn't really much of an issue here, luckily. As the name implies, Raven is just flying past everybody. Why am I not that clever? Of course today, 2 German drivers in the finals. 1 British one, 1 English and 1 Japanese. Japanese one, of course, being Flowerchild, who has been leading the championship for most of the season, right now in 4th, and without much of a chance of winning. We pretty much have a freeway dance for the championship right now. Now it seems to be a bit down to a duet of Jansen and Cornwell, who are fighting for every lap. Of course, every lap can make the difference. If you lead the most laps, you get 5 points bonus. Jansen has from start 10 points more than Raven Cornwell, so they need to win the championship, which gives them 5 points. And then Cornwell needs to win and have the most laps if it stays like this, or Jansen has to lose a position. That would put Cornwell and Godful possibly at a tie. So yeah, Cornwell really needs to have the most points, the most laps led, so they need to dominate the race and fast. Looks pretty good for them, taking the inside, but Jansen taking a gamble here, keeping on the outside because they thought Max Zoom would be a bit closer, might be blocking them, and they do, but doesn't seem to be much of an issue. Cornwell taking them on the outside now. Not quite. Max Zoom, of course, one of the more faster slow cars. Not as easy to overtake as the really slow cars. Jansen now on the inside. Doesn't seem to be happening on the outside for Cornwell here. So the number 77, a big issue for both of the finalists. Not quite easy enough for them to do it. Jansen now finding an opening on the inside. Max Zoom taking the outside, pretty much letting Cornwell pass, but Cornwell had to stall a bit, lost a few seconds there, else would have maybe made contact with the 77 car. That, of course, is not something you would like. Cornwell was just waiting for the perfect moment to fly ahead. Sure. We have a pretty exciting race, of course. I actually feel like both all 3 cars of Godful, Cornwell, and Jansen being at pretty much similar leading laps right now. At least that what it feels like. I should have maybe kept count, but I didn't because I'm cool. Flowerchild, the only of the finalists that hasn't led a lap yet, and doesn't seem like he's getting anywhere close to that this race. So yeah, like I said, it's probably a freeway dance for the finalists for the championship. Maybe they can hang on to their to a second or third place because of their lead, because of the lead they started the finals with. So yeah, for any finalist that is right now in the chat, if I can get some opinions of you, what do you think of the finals right now? Any words you would like the fans to know? Anything? Any quick interviews you would like to conduct? Anything you would like me to have me say about your drivers is mucho apreciado. Cornwell taking them on the inside again. Jansen and Cornwell really fighting against each other. Really every second, every lapping attempt is planned out, because Jansen right now taking the outside in the hopes that they can just fly past the slower cars, but that's not really happening. Vincent Mirdo blocking Cornwell, but Milka and Binglepin, Super Bingle blocking Jansen on the outside, so Sen might be able to take them on the outside here. No, Chiquito, Milka and Bingle both moving in on them. Vincent Mirdo also moving them on the left, so basically blocking them in right now in a bit of a pinching predicament. Cornwell pretty good on the inside, not quite able to take the whole pack, so they are right now stuck behind Milka and Jansen on the outside behind Super Bingle. So that doesn't look like it's gonna benefit anyone, but now they both were able to make their way through the pack. and Cornwell in the lead in front of Jane Sen. Godful seems to be losing a lot of time right now, 10 seconds behind the leader, and Flouter almost 20 seconds behind, so that's a bit sad. Buttery Biscuit Base. Oh no. I like the base. I like the Buttery Biscuit Base. To be fair, Maxudum has no reason to let either of us just pass. We are the reason he isn't competing for a championship. True. So, right now it's a bit a fight of the Imperium against the Rebels. Of course, Team Vega being the most dominating team we had this season. They've just been amazing. Two of their cars have been the double lead of the championship for most of the season, and Winfrey Schrock also making it to the top 8. Despite most odds, they have been looking like they might be eliminated pretty early, but they have been fighting back and made their way onto the top 8, so that was really impressive. One of the cars that's been really showing up in the last few races. Flowerchild, of course, one of the cars that have been not showing up for a lot of races in the last few ones. They are one of the cars that have been underperforming in quite a few races towards the after the first 10 races. That led to Jane Sen being the overall leader for a bit, but then they retook their lead for the last few races. Beyond my wildest so this is a this is a statement by the team manager of Raven Cornwell. Beyond my wildest expectations, Cornwell even made it to this place of competing for a championship, and even if he won't succeed, Team Aogiri Hill is proud of their races, all of them. We have had our ups and downs, and to even compete in this prestigious race at such a high level is something none of us expected. I can definitely agree with that as a commentator, as a neutral suspector? Observer. This being a bit of a surprise, Aogiri Hill, a team that hasn't been doing so well in the first few races. Cornwell slowly starting to be the star racer of the team. Pinkelman also keeping pace quite a bit, but no one really expected them to make a splash. And really, after Kawami Tesu being pretty much one of the slowest cars on the grid for most races, no one really expected them to make anything happen. So that, of course, being a bit of a surprise, seeing any Aogiri Hill car in the finals, and it's been a wild season for them. Pretty much the underdog of the race right now, of the finals, and of course a championship would really be a surprise, especially because they started as the 4th seed, so they are at the biggest disadvantage. Godfall, again, the first car of the 4 championship contenders to take a pit stop here. Jane Sen and Cromwell not really looking like they will be making. They might do that next. Of course, for Team Aogiri Hill, pretty interesting what they do next season. If they keep with their how they are right now, if they maybe exchange drivers, if they keep with the driver managers, if they want to have maybe someone really new, that could always be a possibility. But they seem to be happy with who they have mostly. Maybe they have to just have some new faces, maybe a few new fresh faces always help. Jensen staying out, Cornwell right now taking to the pits a few laps after Godfall, and I believe Arvensis also has not pitted yet, so we'll stay on Cornwell right now, because of course on the re-entry we'll see. I'm stupid. We'll see if they should be staying in front of Godfall, but let's see how far. They are stuck in the traffic now. They are between Murdo and Bordel, so between a slow and a hard place. Just the last name right now, driving on the fast lane. Spectator, thank you. Good lord. So yeah, season 2, the next season, of course, coming to us in about 3 or 4 months. already. So we'll see what changes, how many new drivers we'll see, how many new team managers, racing managers we'll see, what differences the season will bring. So I for one am really excited for that. Hope you are too. Hope you are looking forward to it. And I hope we'll get a lot of signups for the next season, so that you are interested to get your own car ready for the championship. And maybe participate in this prestigious race in the next season. Cornwell right now seems to be in second again. Flowerchild, I don't know what happened to Flowerchild. I don't think Jensen has been. Oh no, they pitted, so they are right now driving out. Cornwell on the same lane. We have a lot of traffic, but Jensen seems to be quite a bit in the lead, so pretty good pit stop for them. Or I guess it was not that fast of a pit stop for Cornwell. Jensen, of course, also with the benefit of being able to avoid a lot of traffic there, with pitting really smart. Cornwell seems to be still in second, Godful still in third, so we'll see the updated splits in a second. Cornwell 3 seconds down on Jane Sen. Yeah, this might be a Team Papega victory here if nothing major happens. Jane Sen seems to be a bit stuck behind Scott Matthews and Brian Henderson, so this might be the opening that Cornwell needs to make back a few meters he needs here. So yeah, that seems, so if he gets past Henderson and Matthews pretty easily, that'd be really good. Doesn't seem to be the case. Matthews just hogging a bit, not like he's not on the inside, not on the outside, he's just staying in the middle a bit. That's gonna be a bit of an issue. Jensen, of course, right now in the open, being able to just drive freely. Brian Henderson got full in third, 15 seconds behind. Flowerchild in fourth, 22 seconds behind. So they are basically outrunning Jensen against Raven. Cromwell is the final battle we'll see today. It seems like, with 6 laps to go, no caution, no yellow flags, nothing so far, which is pretty interesting, of course, for this season, which has been riddled by quite a few issues here and there. Quite a few races ending, or at least having pretty spectacular crashes. And this being one of the fastest tracks of the calendar, not having any issues is pretty interesting. Flowerchild still holding the second fastest lap. Jane Sen holding the fastest right now, in front of, like I said, Flowerchild and Cornwell, and Watful having still the slowest, fastest lap. I can say that Argue Hill hasn't had any discussions regarding the comic season yet, and where Cornwell stands with this will be decided by who or who will not join up, and how the rules will be laid out then. Fair. That was an official statement by the manager of Argue Hill again. So we'll see what Season 2 will bring. I hope, of course, we'll see some returning faces, some new names, some new, maybe some new countries even, maybe some stories, some backgrounds. Some stories me and the viewers, of course, can get behind, can sink their tooth in. Some cars we can root for on their way to victory. And maybe some redemption arcs from last season. So, yeah, I for one am really excited. But of course, we are not in Season 2 yet. We are still in Season 1. Still siding a winner. Right now, Jane Sen looking pretty much destined to taking the victory here. And of course, with them taking the win, that would mean that they are getting the... I don't know who's leading the most laps. Jensen might be taking that bonus point right here. So I don't know if... Yeah, I think right now, if Jensen is winning the race, he's also winning the championship. I am too bad right now to do maths, but I believe that's how that works. Stop talking about Season 2 so much then. No! Because I like Season 2. And I need to advertise it, because people need to sign up for it. And I hope Just Entertainment we'll also send a driver back into the race. Maybe not just the last name, maybe someone else, but that's your call if you want just last name to lose again, or maybe you can call Pastor Maldonado if he has time. If I count correctly, Jensen has the most laps left. Yeah, I believe so too. That feels about right. And there's not enough left to take that anymore. Nope. I believe that is correct. So, but of course, we will not count our eggs until the eggs until they are hatched. And at the moment, Jane Sen, of course, in the lead. Maybe something happens. Maybe Jane Sen will lose control of, but I believe that's not going to be happening right now. Jane Sen should be the sensible driver here and just take it easy. He has 3.5 seconds lead of Conrad. Conrad really needs to push now. Really needs to go for everything he has left in the tank. Maybe at least take the race win. That would be, of course, the moral victory, but that will probably not be enough to take the lead, take the win here in the championship in MIRD Season 1. But of course, a huge effort by them. Definitely one of the fan favorites as far as I know. Besides Squabful, of course, being the most fan favorite in my chat at the moment. But they only in third. Had a pretty good start at the beginning, but it wasn't meant to be. How about you shut up? Oh, the no use are getting thrown in the chat. Holy shit. Also, I thought I didn't really realize that. I guess we could have done 50%. That's fine. Nah, I aim for about double the normal time we use, and I think we did. I think most rate this was about an hour now, I believe. So yeah, Jane Sen right now taking the white flag, which means last lap. Let's go to the potential season champion right now, seeing his final lap, or her final lap. I guess Jane is a female name. Much like Rocket League, I got dicked, so I'm never entering again. Liam! Name of your sex tape. I got dicked, so I'm never entering again. Liam. At least I've got a sex tape. No. You should join again, it's fun. You like the MIRD. You love it. You love the intricacy. I believe in the Jestertainment name to be washed clean again. But right now we can congratulate the winner of the final race and probably the championship as well. Jane Sen, the number 55 car, taking the win here. Team Pepega taking another victory as they usually do. Cromwell taking second here after a long fight. Cranston ending without a bonnet. Okay, I'm curious. How did that happen? How? Why? Jazz, what did you do? How did that happen? We had no yellow flags, nothing. How do you just lose a bonnet? Okay. I don't think they had that for long, did they? How do you lose a bonnet without, like, having a pretty big crash? I'm sorry that I'm doing this right now, but I'm really curious. Oh my god, just go faster. Oh my god, it's not. How much did I missed a bit apparently. I missed something. Oh, already said I'm not in. Damn. I can't really tell if you're serious or not. Probably not, but because you're a dickhead. But maybe you are because you're a dickhead, so. Jazz, what did you do? And why? Why did you do? It's the most important. Okay, so then the pits. Huh? Huh? So just. Okay, so. Go into the pit lane. Oh! Oh! Okay. Noah and Neola not really. So, driving out the pit lane. Not fast enough, just bumping. And then they repaired the car And I guess they just decided to get rid of the bonnet, which makes sense, I guess. Might as well, if it's in the way of the driver, might as well get rid of it. Yep, they just decided to get rid of it so the Cranston has more visibility. That's cool. Again, at least I have one. Liam, why do you have a sex tape? Why are you not sharing? Export. Race 17. Guys, the MIRD is over. It's been the final race. Can't believe it. It's been a long journey. I'm sorry. For the standings, of course, first the standings of the last race. Mecha Spider in last 7 laps down. Carrie Desu taking the last place, and Avenger being 1 place ahead. Brian Hansen in 20th. Cherry Meadows, Scott Matthews, just last name, taking the win from the losers. So he will be also the first place of the... No, Alana Bodell actually taking the win, but that shouldn't stop last name from taking the victory of his group. Alana Bodell in 16th, Vincent Meadow 15th, Milka, Super Bingle, and Noah Niola. Fastboy, Jazz Cranston in 10th, Abara and Jaffa Cake in 8th, Speedy Mac Zoom Zoom in 7th, Winfrey Schrock, Joseph Peter Pinkelman winning his group as well. Now, going into the meat of things, Pinkelman, Flower Child in 4th, of course, pretty disappointing for them, only 160 points for them. Godful in 3rd, leading 15 laps, actually more than Cronwell. I didn't think that's the case, but second most laps led. Cornwell leading 12 laps and coming into second. Of course, that the ending making it a bit less exciting. There was quite a fight going on between both of the Chevrolets, but no cigar there. And Jane Sen taking the win with leading more than half the laps. Yeah, half laps is 32. So Jane Sen winning the championship, winning the race, and therefore, spoiler alert, winning the championship. So in the bottom you can see, for the first time since I think race 3, the Avenger not being in last. Kawaii Desu taking the coveted Red Lantern finally, and finishing in the very last place. Of course, Aogiri Heel a bit disappointed there, probably. Cherry Meadow in 21st, Scott Matthews, Brian Henderson, Alana Bodell, and just the last name in 17th, winning his group. Super Bingle winning their group as well by 1 point in front of Vincent Meadow. You dickhead! Come on! I'm mad. I'm so mad. Yeah, Super Bingle winning Group 2 in front of Vincent Meadow by 1 point. Group 3, Jaffa Cake, Noah Neola, Abawa, and Fastboy. That was pretty decided already. Group 4, with Joseph Peter Pinkelman, Jazz Cranston, Max Zoom Zoom, and Schrock winning that group as well. Yup, I consider that as a shared second place between all three. Who had the second place? So yeah, Cornwell. So in the first group, we actually have a 3-way tie for second, which is interesting. Cornwell, Flowerchild, and Godful. Apparently, both Godful and Raven decided on a 3-way tie there. Technically, I could tiebreaker this, but I'm not gonna, because I think they are happy with being second. So I'm just gonna leave them in there. In that, and Jane Sen taking the win by 20 points in front of all of them. So yeah, it's NK if it's in a freeway. Oh no! So yeah, we have 3 seconds and a winner for Team Pepega. Jane Sen winning the championship after a dominant final race. And if you care for the final for the team standings, MIRD Incorporated being dead last, Yorkshire Dragons in 5th, Vibrant in 4th, Danas in 3rd, and Aogiri Heel taking 2nd here because, of course, 1 car in the final and 1 in the second to last group, and Team Pepega dominating with 2 cars in the finals and 1 car in the 4th group. So that was a pretty decisive team victory for Team Pepega. of course, congrats to Jane Sen for taking the championship. Um, the good thing is that I know who Jane Sen is, and they live not that far from here. So I will. There will be a bit of a trophy. I haven't actually done it yet, but I have an idea for it, and I will present it to them whenever we meet again. So that's gonna be exciting. So congrats, of course, amazing performance by everyone. So I hope you are you are all happy with how you finished, even if you just won the winners of the losers, like just the last name, you can still be proud of your performance. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this quite amazing journey. This, of course, being a bit of a passion project. Ever since I saw it on a forum, being in a bit of a different format, but pretty similar to this, I've been helping them quite a lot with how they organize it, helping with the spreadsheets and all that shit. Got really deep into it, really liked it, and then it stopped. So I was like, huh, I really miss it because this is really fun, and I hope you really enjoyed as well, despite all the issues with it, and which we will take care of in the planning for season 2. So if you have any feedback, please don't hold back. Feel free to just put it in the Discord that we have. We'll probably prepare a questionnaire as well where you can give some feedback, which we will be sending you per private message. So every bit of feedback is, of course, appreciated. We will be working on everything. I have really big plans for season. No. Saying really big plans just puts a big cross on my back. But I have plans. I really look forward to doing something cool with it, being a bit more of an event, being a bit of a bigger event, and I just hope you are here for it and you are as excited for it as I am in a few months to come back to the MIRD. Yeah, I didn't think that that we were able to that we would be able to get such a cool thing off the ground in relatively short amount of time, and that, of course, being mostly attributed to my amazing 2 helping hands, or not really helping hands. They have been just carrying me on their back, basically. Godfall and Binglepin, at Godfall at Binglepin on Twitter. With Godfall making making all of the beautiful designs you see for the standings, and helping me with a few technical, a lot of technical things as well, and just being an amazing help, just also as a person. And same goes, of course, for Super Bingle and them also doing almost all of the designs except for Godfalls and Windfish Rocks. So super huge thank you, of course, for them. I wouldn't have been able to get this here without them. I'm basically just a host, and I've been doing all the organizing for the championship itself. I just wanted to thank everyone involved, and of course everyone that's been following this, contributing their stats, just getting the ideas here, signing up, watching, of course, and commentating on the things. You are just really, it's so cheesy because every YouTuber and shit says that, but it's true. It's true. It's just, if you do such a thing, it's just, you just feel pretty thankful at the end of it. And yeah, we'll be returning to our usual scheduled programming in the stream. I'll be still streaming at Fridays at 8 English German time and 7 British. We'll be going back to a few more longer games. I bought a hopefully functioning version of Sonic Adventure 2, so that will finally be a thing we'll be playing on stream. Maybe even the first bigger project will be going to next week. So we'll see about that. And I didn't really think I'm gonna have much more time for a second game today, but I do. So yeah, I'm gonna just, for the cut, I'm gonna make artificial cut here for later. So thank you guys so much for following me along, and I hope you enjoyed it. And my and I hope you liked me as a commentator for way too long and my throat's hurting. So, cut for the MIRD Season 1 finals here.